Okay, Mike Broomhead and I sat down and talked yesterday about a few topics that are on a lot of people's minds. Mike, tell you, I don't know how we're keeping score here, but last week, before the governor talked, you did all right. You're okay.
I was surprised at what Governor Ducey said about opening schools and mandating some things that I didn't think he would do. Yeah. Other than that, I was pretty on the money.
You were there. All right, we'll give you that one. We'll keep. You know what? I'll give you that.
Thank you.
There you go. So speaking of school, next week is starting a very trying time here in our school district and also districts across the country.
Yeah.
But here, it's very interesting that people are getting mixed messages online, offline. Campuses are open, not open. What are you hearing? What have you been guys talking about?
A couple of things. A very interesting interview this week with EVIT, East Valley Institute of Technology. Now they've got campuses from Cave Creek to Apache Junction, and it is a hands-on trade school. So taking high school kids, everything from auto mechanics to 3D animation to nursing and EMT and cosmetology. So they can't really do things online. Interesting survey I talked with their superintendent. First they talked to parents. Would you have your student back on campus if we opened? 96% said yes. Of the teachers, between 70 and 80% said we have some reservations, but with the right tools, absolutely. So they're putting things, they spent over $900,000 of money they would have over what they would normally spend, and on the 17th they're going to open their campus. And it's really going to be, I think, a test for school districts across the state. I was really happy to hear that they're doing it.
Yeah, and different districts are, and that's what we're saying here right now. Please check with your district, because what you just said might not be happening somewhere else, but then people listen, you go, well, they're opening all the schools.
Right.
No,
they're not. And the hope for me would be that they would make it available in every district for the parents that want their kids there. Listen, it's a personal choice, and I'm a big choice person. So if you want to send your kids to school, it should be available. And we're going to make online learning available, distance learning available for the families that don't feel safe yet, and the teachers that don't want to go back. But I think the option should be there for everyone.
Yeah, and I think everyone needs to read and not listen and go to the Facebook when you have a person who's not even a teacher, who has no kids, who has anything telling everyone the world's ending.
And what's happening.
Yeah, and it's like, it's crazy. So,
it is.
All right, switching gears now, let's have a little fun.
Okay.
First of all, let's go with baseball. Baseball opened up, and now it might not be opening anymore.
But the Marlins, I mean, it just seems to be that one team. 14 or 18 people associated with the team, and now they're trying to figure out, was it travel or were there some people associated with the traveling team that went outside of the boundaries? And you got to think that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody else is traveling, and yet the only team with a spike are the Marlins.
So, all right. We know it's going to affect the economy quite a bit. I didn't realize how big it was going to go, because we have the vendors who are not working. We have the people who clean up the places, people who do things. So they moved all the basketball down to the bubble.
Right.
So do you think we might be one of the places? They've talked about us moving baseball here. They've talked about maybe possibly hockey, different things.
After the spike we just had, I don't think anyone's going to feel safe bringing all of it to Arizona right now, not to mention the fact it's 117 degrees. How do you play the baseball games? Hockey obviously would be in the arena, but I think the NBA in the bubble is smart. I think they're going to be just fine. I can't wait to see hockey start playing again, but all eyes on the NFL, because that's a collision sport.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with NFL players? And I think of all of the juggernauts in sports, the multi-billion-dollar industry that is football, they've got to get college football and they got to get professional football on the field.
Okay. Now let's go back to a little bit of politics, since we're bringing up different things here, and that's what we do. I love talking about it, because this is where we get to talk. We don't argue. We don't anything. We talk about it. Less than 95, 96 days out.
Yeah.
What is going on, or what do you feel? I'm starting to see more and more people almost giving up on both sides.
Right. I think that there's fatigue. And people, generally speaking, you and I have had great conversations. I got to say, I appreciate my conversations with you, because we have different opinions on a lot of things, but common ground on what we want, which is the best for everybody. I think we genuinely both want what's best for the country.
Right.
And most people feel that way. And I think when they see the fighting, we're sick of picking sides, and we want to know what you're going to do to fix things. Stop stop bashing each other and tell us what you're going to do. And I think that's where a lot of this fatigue is right now.
Yeah. So and we're seeing it just kind of build up more and more. Okay, now, see, I like this. We're switching gears a little bit. See how you're doing. How's your electricity stuff going? Are you building anything? What's going on? What's going on at the house?
It's nice. I put lighting in my house. I got done doing that, and I'm happy to not. I'm not climbing in that attic one more time. The thing I'm doing now is hanging TVs. So I got to go in the attic one more time to move cable. So if anybody wants to help, come jump in my attic. I pay well. Because I don't want to climb in that attic again.
I love it. All right. Next week, what's coming up on the KTR on your show?
You know, we're doing a lot of stuff with testing. We are going to be a place in Arizona for the testing for a vaccine. So we're trying to reach out to a couple of doctors that will be a part of that test for whether or not we're going to get a vaccine by the fall. And a lot of that testing is happening right here. So I'm really interested in who in Arizona would be a part of that testing group and what that looks like. So that's next week.
Awesome. Also, next week, you and I, we're going to talk Stuff the Bus because we start our campaign.
Can't wait for that to get going.
Yeah, and so we are starting up next week. So our next conversation will be how important it is to get those supplies to the kids at home and going back to school.
Can't wait.
So love it. Thanks, Mike.
All right, man.